to a quick broadcast at Jerusalem's Gate. It's real early in the morning. Just wanted to give you an update. Kabul did fall, as you probably know by now. The Taliban, as you can see in the picture, is in the presidential palace where the ex-president of Afghanistan lived. It's very reminiscent if you see pictures of the airport of thousands and thousands of people climbing on planes and holding on to jet wings to try to leave Afghanistan. Ladies and gentlemen, let's do a quick review, and I said this on the last video. We're fighting a spiritual war, and until our country realizes that we're fighting a spiritual war and turns back to Christ, let's review what happened. Okay, Iraq has basically kicked us out on Iran's influence. Afghanistan just fell to the Taliban. Syria has fell to the Russia, and Yemen is about to be controlled by Iran, and Iran is on the footsteps, very close to getting a nuclear weapon. Very close to getting a nuclear weapon. The most immediate thing right now would be stop Iran from getting a nuclear weapon. That should be the main thing. And you're not going to stop them by a peace agreement or giving them a couple more plane loads of cash. They're not going to stop it. Israel proved that they're not going to stop it. So what's the solution? I don't know. I'm not a military person. All I'm saying, it would be a catastrophe if Iran gets a nuclear bomb, because then they would give that technology to other groups of people as they do their military equipment now. I got a quick video for you that goes over the fall of Afghanistan. I pray you watch it. It's only a couple of minutes long. Once again, Afghanistan has completely fallen to the Taliban, and our nation, we have to turn back to Christ. I'm imploring you, turn back to Christ. Let's turn away from some things the Lord has told our country to turn away from, and turn to Christ as being a Christian nation again. I'm going to say that message until it happens, or they put me 6 feet under. Because I love my country. That's why I say it. With that said, here comes the video. Remember, we love you.
Most people will likely remember why it started.
And the people who knocked these buildings down will hear all of us soon.
A demand to the Taliban, turn over Osama bin Laden and al-Qaeda, unanswered. A few weeks later, a massive bombing campaign along with a small force of around 1,000 Special Forces soldiers and CIA agents, combined with the Northern Alliance in Afghanistan. And the Taliban fell within months. The U.S., along with its allies, turned to nation building with big promises of lessons learned.
We know this from not only intelligence, but from the history of military conflict in Afghanistan. It's been one of initial success, followed by long years of floundering and ultimate failure. We're not going to repeat that mistake.
Critics say that's exactly what happened as the U.S. turned more attention to the war in Iraq. The U.S. announced an end to major combat operations in Afghanistan in 2003. A constitution was written, elections followed, a new president, a new legislature, with women taking positions of power. But as the years passed, cracks in the coalition. And as the Taliban fought back and civilian casualties mounted along with that of the armed forces, opinion turned. A new U.S. president had to make a decision, go bigger or go home.
Our overarching goal remains the same.
U.S. President Barack Obama decided to send an additional 17,000 troops, then 30,000 more. By 2010, around 100,000 U.S. troops would be in Afghanistan. In May of 2011, Osama bin Laden was found and killed in Pakistan, but the war continued. Obama promised to bring most U.S. troops home by the end of 2016, and then a new U.S. president took over.
A hasty withdrawal would create a vacuum that terrorists, including ISIS and al-Qaeda, would instantly fill.
President Trump announced an open-ended deployment, but eventually signed a deal with the Taliban. If they promised to keep out terrorist groups and not attack U.S. troops, a full withdrawal would happen by May of 2021. But then yet another new U.S. president was sworn in. And President Joe Biden decided to keep the deal and leave only a small troop presence. He said the Taliban would not immediately take over. He was wrong, sending in more than 5,000 troops to hastily evacuate the embassy. Now growing questions of what will happen to the women and girls of Afghanistan. 20 years of bloodshed and battles, of promises and of unimaginable pain, of encouraging signs and setbacks, 2 decades of war, and still questions of what was won amid so much that was lost. Patty Culhane, Al Jazeera, Washington.